Hey guys, and welcome to my Crea beginner's tutorial. Crea is an open world sandbox crafting game. However, what makes it different is its focus on a XP progression system rather than just an item based progression system. We're going to talk about this more a bit later. Thought we'd just get into some actual meat of the topics. So the first thing I recommend you do is go out and gather a bunch of materials. You can gather materials by walking around. Collect crystals are a big thing. I always want you to collect. Trees are a good thing to collect. Vines. You can kill enemies, sheep, get all their loot. And I also would recommend get some iron and copper. So once you have a full inventory, you can create chests and put stuff in there, but it's not as necessary. As you'll get a lot better stuff as well after you play a bit. So we're gonna skip this part since I have already done it, but we want about a full inventory and then you can come on back. So once that is complete, we're gonna talk about talents. You can upgrade your talents as you're going through. I haven't upgraded too many of my talents because I wanted to focus on showing you guys which talents I'm going to pick. So talents that are available to you are based on your level. You'll see this on every level. From at the lower levels, you can pretty much use all your TP without running out. On the higher levels, you're going to have to pick what TP you want to save your stuff for. So at the moment, I actually don't really like too many of these abilities because I don't actually use physical ranged weapons. Focus is a good talent because it can be used with any weapon. So also note with the proficiencies, you're gaining proficiency for that particular weapon and it cannot be refunded. So just keep that in mind. So arms talents are gained just through fighting enemies, killing them, and you will gain arms talent. Style is gained through a different way, jumping, pretty much everything that's not in our first four is pretty much included in style. It's kind of a catch-all. Some of the really good skills in style are heal for sure. Fireball is really good because it has a good range. Protect is good. And wand proficiency is something I really like because I find wands to be extremely powerful weapons. Because the thing is you're attacking at range rather than attacking at close range, but you don't have to make arrows for bows. Arrows aren't that hard to make, but you're getting the free ammo anyway from the wands, so why not just get it? Arrows, however, have a lot longer range. So note that protection is physical and shell is magical. So the gathering skill, gathering is used from gathering anything you find on the map. Pretty much some wood stuff you don't get gathering from, but pretty much any ores, dirt, stone, anything like that. The very big skills for this one are Ore Hunter. Ore Hunter's a really big one. So you press 1, you activate it. You won't actually be able to see it very well here because I don't have it noted, but any ore that's on the ground will be highlighted. Health boost is a good one if you have extra TP. It just gives you more health. Why it's included in Gatherer is I'm not sure of. I think they just didn't want to include in arms because they wanted you to focus in getting skills. Tool speed boost, also good. Pretty much all these skills are good. I've already upgraded it because it's pretty much the best item in the game, but it's tool proficiency. So the cool thing about this game is you can expand the area at which you're mining. So we could mine 1 square at a time, which you can see how long that takes, or you can mine 4 squares at a time. So this is used by pressing the F key. Oop, I also don't want to mine. Okay, no. Oh, hey, my chest just floats above there. That's a little bit different. So very, very useful talent skill to have. So, oops, sorry about that. So definitely recommend that. Tool reach. Pretty much, again, like I said, all these skills you can select because you're not really going to run out of TP. So, I believe there was a treasure hunter, but I guess it's in the Explore tab. So crafting, we don't have much XP crafting because I've been saving crafting for the video, but crafting XP is only gained by crafting. So you will often have to just craft stuff to even get higher level items. So you're going to have to do a lot of crafting often to get your next crafting item. So that's why finding all of these early game resources, like I mentioned, is important. And then explore. The explore talent is pretty much just gained by, you gain more of it by actually exploring the map, but you'll gain a little bit of it every so often. So it can seem to lag behind your other skills, but if you're doing a lot of exploring, it might be your highest skill. So mine, just pretty much any area you haven't been to before will give you bonus XP, but you'll gain a little bit over time. This is a treasure hunter ability. It functions in a very similar way than does the ore hunter. You just activate it, and if there's any treasure nearby, it will be highlighted. See that treasure chest, or my wood box, is highlighted because it is considered treasure. So, ledge grab. Ledge grab is pretty much the most important skill in the Explorer tree. It allows you to reach and grab ledges. This is really important for areas that are too high. For example, this area. I flattened this whole area, but I wouldn't be able to reach this without ledge grab. So you can see, very important and crucial skill to your success. Shadow folding is really good because it gives you a second bag. We don't have enough TP for it at the moment, but we will get some. Stamina boost is also very important. Every time you attack or do anything, use your spells, it will use stamina. So, very important. So, we're going to go through some more of these advanced tutorials once we get more XP, but for the most part, they're self-explanatory if you read them. So that is our talent system explored. Now we're going to look at the crafting system. So the crafting system actually has a couple different parts to it. There's researching, and then there's crafting. So research desks are the first thing we will need to craft. To get lumber, you just craft wood. So we can hit max 99, or we can just craft a certain number of them. For now, we're just going to craft 10. So 10 is 40 because you're getting the output number here. So we also need paper. Paper is, again, from lumber. So you just select the amount you want. We're going to go with 10. Actually, we could go a little bit more. We'll go with 19. Okay, so we have... Oh, we dropped the paper on the ground because we didn't have enough room for it. So now we have all these things. We can begin to craft a research desk. So I really should actually empty my inventory. It was a good idea to have it full, but now it's creating problems. We will want to have a full inventory here shortly, but there's a couple of these items we can put in. So we're going to grab. So we're just going to put the research down here. Later on, you can put it in your house, but we can't even build a house yet because we have not researched that. So when you interact with your research desk, you're going to get a host of things to research. Researching is based on your crafting skill, as we had mentioned. So you can only research certain things when you have certain levels. So we're at level 1 crafting. So researching does give you craft experience, as we see, so it is a good way to get more craft experience. So as we increase things, it's going to give us different things we can craft. Every time you research, it will use a certain number of the product, and it will tell you. And as we do it, we're going to learn about a variety of new things. So researching is very important, and we got a craft skill. So our craft skill leveled up. Now we have 4 more basic things we can research. So crafting can be quite linear. You're just clicking, but it's a very important part of the game. It's very interesting because the first time you find a material, it could open you up to a whole host of new stuff you'd never researched before. So I'm going to do some research here because it will actually allow us to build some of the stuff we're going to need later. You see, we're getting a lot of different weapons, armors, and all kinds of things we weren't even aware existed before. So every time you do this, you're actually getting a little bit of scraps. So they're research scraps. Research scraps can be used to kind of hurry a research along if you don't want to use the material. I recommend saving them for later because we really don't. We have 153 vines. We don't need to save one vine. So, and everything can be researched. We have dirt. Even the dirt can be researched. So, very useful. We're gaining more and more crafting skills. So, it is useful to spend them. Like Scrap Master will give you more scraps. These are actually crafting. Innovate's useful because it gives you even more higher level recipes. Pretty much it lets you. So we're level 3. It lets you access level 4 craft. It lets you research level 4 crafting recipes. And all these are kind of different. They have to do with different systems and stuff, but you definitely get them. Expertise is really nice because it just gives you the ability to get more quality. So, polish is useful as well. Combat chaos, modify catalyst, all of these things we're going to be talking about because chaos is a very kind of more complicated system. So, again though, not to get off topic, it does talk about the chaos craft, but pretty much if we go to craft something, I'll go to the crafting menu, you'll get two options. You'll get the craft and you'll get the chaos craft. So chaos crafting can give you more quality, but can affect the amount of chaos in the world. Chaos will affect a variety of things. Again, a little bit too complicated for a beginner's tutorial, but just note that chaos is a factor when you're crafting. Quality is a big part of the game. Increased quality will give weapons different abilities. Let's see if I have a club. See, this club has upgrade quality. It has 3 health. It's 50 quality, where this buckler is 45 quality. Just as a note for later. So, I didn't really explain this, but everything is kind of broken out into its own categories. Home is for building. Basics can be usually materials, but they can be other kind of things. Just a whole host of different materials. So also note there's often a variety of different ways to make different things, so that will lead into our research. You can look at the recipes that you have not solved yet for each item. So the forge, we don't know one of the items. One of the items is actually stone. So, like I kind of explained, the number of items you have on you affects what you can find. So if we, actually, can we just turn all this lumber into wood quickly here? It might just be the fastest way. I was keeping the lumber just in case we needed it for, how to say, oop, did we just, now we have just too much wood, but. I just want, I wanted stone. So once we go to the stacks with the stone, we'll get a couple more research options. So now we can research the forge because it has been completed. So it always shows you the ones you haven't completed because you haven't found a component of it yet. So all things very interesting. The one thing we could do is even make a chest, but we'll craft a bunch of this stuff here that we'll need now. So you can turn your waste shards into catalysts. It's not always the best idea to do this because waste shards can be used with crystals. I'll talk about crystals a little bit later. So leather, you can see, uses a host of materials. We had to research all those materials to get it. So we turned all our wood into lumber, so we cannot make leather, but at the moment it's not the end of the world. So we know all these ones, we've seen them. So cloth. Want to craft some cloth because we haven't researched cloth yet. So weapons. Often I don't find you can really research too much on weapons. However, I do recommend getting some of the better weapons. So this is 22 power, and our current weapon has 18 power. So it would give quite more, and also swords are generally better than clubs. So we will craft one. And again, like I said, anything you craft gives you more crafting XP. So it's very useful. Wands as well. I love wands, as I explained. So we're going to craft a wand as well. I really need a chest here. So spears are good as well, but we don't actually have the item we need to craft a spear at this moment. We'll go into basics, but is there anything else in here that we really want? I do not think so. So we can make a workshop, but first, like I said, I think we're going to make some wooden boxes because we have stuff all over the place here. Let's just craft a whole bunch of them. Okay, so fill the dirt. Oops. There we go. Wooden boxes. Let's put the wooden boxes up here. So kind of neat thing about the game is you can place stuff. It's not tile based. You can pretty much place stuff wherever you want to put it, which is interesting. You can put them all side by side, or you can set them at any range between, which I think is really quite neat. We even have one more. Sure, we'll just put it there. Really find the game quite interesting in how it chooses to do things. So, dirt, hide. Actually, the seeds I don't need. Ectoplasm I'm not sure if I can use, but we'll also just put these seeds in. Zebra seed. And the rest of it we're probably going to need in some shape or form. Except for the dirt. Okay, so now we can probably pick up all these items and we won't no longer be hindered. So anyway, we got a new crafting because we did the cloth. So we can do bone furniture. But anyway, so surfaces, forge, very important to craft. It lets you pretty much craft a whole host of new items, as well as the workstation. The workstation is pretty much like a crafting table in Minecraft. So there you go. So now we'll be able to craft a lot more of the essentials. So what were we looking at? So we are not high enough level to craft some of the copper and different things. I don't believe so. Let's go into filter. Yeah, we don't even know how to make copper. So I recommend just making a variety of different things to get your crafting level up. So we can actually get a wooden barrel. It's only lumber and vines, so we can craft that. Like I said, you're just early on crafting a bunch of different things. The one thing I wanted to show is that the barrel it has a stats effect, which is guarded, which gives defense, and it seems mine, but it also, so items can give a variety of different things than you think they do. So it's, like I said, we're just crafting a bunch of stuff. I just wanted you guys to have an idea of how it works. So we just need straight up wood. So just gonna go in here. We can even put this wood club in there as well. So okay, I think you guys kind of have a grasp of that. So we've talked about craft, research, so the combat system. So as I've showed you, there's one mode for mining, but you've seen me switch to it, but I didn't really explain it, is the combat system. So if we want, for example here, if you want to fight these enemies, we're just going to be mining the ground. We cannot hit them. However, if we press R to switch, now we can attack. So we have two kind of attack modes here. We have melee attack and we have ranged attack. You can have two setups, and I do recommend this if you're going for it. If you're just going for a straight melee build, you do not need this, but it is very useful to have. So when you set up a second build though, you have to set up all your skills again. So fireball, whatever you want. You can even go for protect. Remember that the more skills you have, though, the more drain you're going to have in your stamina. You can also only have 5 skills on your bar at once. So keep that in mind as well. So protect. So we got hurt, so heal. We can get a critical hit. And we can also protect ourselves. So the protect is a buff for a certain amount of time. I believe you can also use it straight out of the talent pay if you do not want to have it on your bottom skill. No, I guess not. I thought there's a way to cast it outside, but maybe because we already have it crafted. But anyway, once you have selected, you will just fight enemies just by attacking them. So let's combat this enemy here. So different weapons will have different arcs as well. So swords seem to attack in kind of swinging arcs. Spears stab straight out. And wands can shoot in any direction you choose. So the proficiencies, what they do is they give you additional talents. So these are actually ranged enemies, so we're not getting the huge host of damage of our wand. But the one thing is, look at what your talents give you for your proficiencies. So crit time with the second attack may be performed. Where I believe the sword, yeah. So you can give if you attack twice. So I'm not sure what the timing is for this, but you can figure it out. So sword, I think it's just, yeah, there we go, right there. So, and attacks behind you if you got the right timing. You just have to practice with the timing. Yeah, okay, there it is. So once you figure out the timing, it lets you kind of do a double attack. So, all very useful things. The one other thing I want to talk about is spawners. So spawners spawn enemies, as I said, but they can be destroyed. I do not recommend destroying spawners in case you want to farm an enemy of that type. Enemies all kind of produce their own resources. So if you need a certain resource, just farming a spawner can be a great way to get that type of experience. So now if we wanted to mine, we wouldn't be able to because we are in the wrong screen. Say we want to pick up these crystals. No matter what, if we use our sword or wand, we're not going to be able to mine them unless we press R and switch to our build mode. So constantly switching between the two modes, attacking and building. It's actually, at first it seems cumbersome, but it's really well done and works very well. So highly recommend the game. The only other thing quickly then is the infusions. Infusions are pretty much like stat ups, I would say. So we have 7 infusions. We can get more infusions by using Remna cores or getting your overall level increased. I do not recommend using Remna cores right away, or at least all of them, because they are used in crafting as well. So for the most part, I'd say save your Remna cores. So bonus plant. The only other thing I didn't mention is planting. Planting can be a good way. Trees, for the most part, you'll find lots of, but if you, this is a special seed, which you can actually see one over here. So it's hard, it's pretty much impossible to get that wood unless you plant it yourself. So very important planting as well. So if we go, however, to infusions, which I apologize, I got a little bit distracted there. You can upgrade skills. So physical attack power, magical attacks, or magical defense, intelligence and magic attack. So for the most part you can read them, but it all depends on what skills you're going to go for. So I do not actually recommending health particularly because you can heal. Stamina can be a good thing to put skills into though, because the more stamina, the more attacks you can perform. Especially if you're going to be a ranged character, the attacks are very important. So I'm splitting between stamina and intelligence. Luck is kind of, well, I won't explain luck. It affects a lot of things and it's kind of very varied. But for the most part, as it says, allows you to find high quality treasure. So the last part then to explain is way shards. So way shards, other than being used for catalysts, can be used to teleport. They can also be used for rifts and realms, which I'll show you here. So if we want to teleport to this crystal, it'll cost us 3 way shards. The way shards will be consumed. A way to farm way shards is actually just to go to different areas. So here there is more way shards. Oops, use the ability. But so I probably will just. Oh yeah, see, we got more way shards than we left with. It's going to cost us 1 to go back because we're attuned. I'll talk to that in a second. But firstly, there is different crystals. So this is a Rune of Lucky. It takes you to a dungeon. We can actually interact because we don't have a grappling hook. But note that there's different crystals. Not all crystals are good. Some crystals will just teleport you away. So always be wary before using a crystal. But very powerful to teleport yourself. Attuning yourself to crystal means that's where you will spawn if you die. You can rename the crystals to whatever you want. Like we can name this one home base. If we didn't think we could remember. As we're running out of space. You only have so many characters, oh no, sorry, this isn't actually our home. This one's our home, the Primus crystal. But interesting that you can rename them if you set up different bases, so you don't have to remember the names. You can base it by renames. But anyway, guys, hope this tutorial was helpful. Really hard to get everything in there in a very concise fashion. I hope I explained pretty much all the beginner topics. It's a very broad game. There's a lot to it, so it was hard to keep to just beginner topics. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming out for the Crea tutorial, and back in the next one. Thanks, guys. Later.